this is a property we just locked up at 0% interest rate, no bank, no documents, no questions asked, and we got the deal done in weeks. I don't even have to spend $1 in here other than the cleaning lady, which came 2 days ago. We flew in last night, and now I'm gonna put it on the market to rent by tomorrow.
Hey guys, so we're here in New Orleans.
And this is a property we just locked up at 0% interest rate, an investment property that I'm gonna keep and rent for about $2,200 to $2,300 a month. And we were able to negotiate seller financing, 0% interest rate, no bank, no documents, no questions asked, and we got the deal done in weeks.
So tell the people how you did it. What's seller financing?
Seller financing is when you negotiate with the seller and the seller becomes the bank instead of me getting a mortgage with like Wells Fargo or Chase. So I'm gonna be making the payments to him, but I'm the owner. So I actually go on title and then we record a mortgage note. It goes on the property, recorded just like you would when Wells Fargo gives you the mortgage, but I'm making the payments directly to him.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm just learning about this, so this is all cool to me. It opens your mind. So where'd you find this person from?
So we run Facebook ads and Facebook videos that say we buy houses cash or whatnot, and then they submit a form, and then our team calls them and pre-qualifies the conversation to see if they're really interested for a cash offer. If they don't take our cash offer, then we offer something creative like seller financing or taking over the payments to their mortgage. This deal came from that. We locked this deal up in Miami over the phone, and this is in New Orleans. So I never even came inside. We called a realtor, they came by, they took pictures and video. We sent an inspector, they did a full inspection report. So this whole transaction happened virtually. This is the first time that I walk into this place to see what we actually bought.
So what do you think about it?
Thank God it was just like the pictures, because sometimes pictures show something and then when you get there, you're like, it looks cheap and it wasn't done, well, but I don't even have to spend $1 in here other than the cleaning lady, which came 2 days ago. We flew in last night, and now I'm gonna put it on the market to rent by tomorrow.
So how did you structure the deal?
So he wanted $210,000, and that was a little bit too much for us to pay cash because there wasn't enough equity. The properties around here are selling around $250,000. So after we buy it, closing costs, and then you got to pay commissions, it wasn't a big enough profit margin for me to give him that amount unless he wanted terms. And then most people may not understand what that means. So we just compare it to like when you buy a car, you don't usually pay all cash. You buy it with terms and you make a monthly payment. We can do the same thing for you and buy the property that way, giving you the $210,000 you want, paying you back over time if you're interested in something like that. So it's kind of like if you rented it, because you'll get a check every month. We'll give you some money up front, and then you don't have to deal with any of the headaches because now you become the mortgage, the bank, instead of the landlord. And he liked that idea. So we ended up giving him $30,000 up front and $800 a month every single month. The cool thing is we never spoke about interest rate, so I got it at a 0% interest rate, meaning the $800 a month continues to pay down the balance that I owe him. And then we said in 10 years, I will pay you off the balance. So in 10 years, after $800 a month, it's gonna be about $96,000 more that I give him. So I gotta pay him in 10 years that balance of $84,000. By then, equity's gone up. I can either refinance and then cash out and give him that money, or I can sell the property and pay him off and keep the profits. And in the meantime, this property rents around $2,300. So after taxes, insurances, and the $800 a month, I'll probably be cash flowing somewhere between $700 to $800.
Nice. So why'd you come up with $30,000?
Yeah, so we try to get it with 0% down, but obviously, I want to sell it. I need money to pay off debt. I need money to move to another place. In this case, he had already moved. The property's in New Orleans, but he lives in Florida. So he needed the money to try to pay off some debt, and that's why he was trying to sell. So we asked him, what's the minimum? Our rule of thumb is we try not to pay more than 10% of the purchase price. So $210,000, actually $30,000 is more than $210,000. So the 10% rule didn't apply in this case, but with 0% interest rate and the condition it's in, I was willing to pay a little bit more, which doesn't compare to the 20-25% that you got to give the bank to get a traditional investment mortgage on other properties. So it was still a hell of a deal. So we went a little bit more and gave him the $30,000.
Yeah, so when you say like the 20% towards the bank rate, that's $30,000, so you put more than the 10% rule.
Right.
But you got 0% interest, which equates, so does it equate better off doing it 30,000 down, 0%, or 8% and then 10,000 down?
Yeah, no, of course.
Did you guys do the numbers like that?
20% down. If I would have, instead of worked out seller
Well,
financing.
the down payment, we're not talking about the down payment because that goes towards the mortgage. The down payment lowers the mortgage, right? We're talking about the interest rate. How is it beneficial for going 30,000 towards him, paying him 30,000, which is going towards the mortgage too?
Yeah, so think about it like this. $210,000 is the purchase price. If I would have not been able to get seller finance and I would have gone to a mortgage lender and said, I want to buy this house, they would have asked me for minimum 20% down because it's an investment property. So that 20% down of $210,000 is over $40,000. So right there, I'm already paying more by getting a mortgage.
And with the interest rate.
And then they're gonna hit me with like an 8% interest rate because it's an investment property. So that's like $1,200 a month in just interest.
Yeah.
Plus paying off principal towards the balance, plus taxes and insurances. Now it doesn't cash flow.
Yeah.
Now it's probably like evening out. The same thing I could rent it for is what my mortgage payment is. In this case, I paid $30,000 up front, so less than 40, and we didn't talk about interest rate. He was cool with just an $800 payment, and it all goes towards lowering what I owe him. So for every single year, $800 a month, $800 a month, by the end of 10 years, it's $96,000. So the balance is called the balloon payment, which is $84,000 at the end of 10 years that I gotta come up with, which I'm not worried about because in 10 years, I can just sell this property, it has equity, and I'll be able to pay them off. And my CPA this year will take this property and do a ton of tax saving strategies to try to tell Uncle Sam, you ain't taking my money this year. So there's benefits in so many different ways picking up deals in seller finance. Low down payment, gonna cash flow per month, $700 to $800 a month, and I'm gonna save taxes with Uncle Sam when it's time to do.
So why would a seller be interested in doing this that way?
That's a great question. A seller he had this trying to sell for months and he couldn't sell it. So he was getting desperate. He wasn't here. The grass wasn't being cut, even though the property's in good condition inside. And he didn't want to be a landlord from another state. He isn't in the real estate game. He's not taking our training and our courses to learn how to structure a system and hire a virtual property manager to make it easy like we do. He saw this as overwhelming and a headache. So after trying to sell it himself and the market wasn't moving, the fact that I could give him the $30,000 that he needed right away to pay off whatever he needed to pay off and have the money he needed and get a monthly check, almost like he's a landlord but without any of the leaky toilets or AC, he's like, I can deal with that. Let's structure that deal. So he's still getting cash flow per month without worrying about the headache of being a landlord, which he liked that idea. And in 10 years, I'm gonna give him the rest of the money.
So he's completely hands off. You guys take over the homeowner's insurance, or you get renter's insurance at that point.
Yeah, so he's out. I'm the new owner. I'm on title. He's just the bank. So I get new insurances. I'm on the tax bill, so I got to pay the property taxes. And I'm paying him $800 as the mortgage company, and I make all decisions. I can sell this in 3 years if I want to. If I can sell this for $275, $300.
Penalty? No, right? Because it's 0% interest?
Nah, if I call him in 2 years and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna give you all the money because I'm refinancing or selling, he's not gonna be mad. He's gonna be like, great, I get the rest of my money faster.
Yeah, but in a situation where there is an interest rate, there probably will be like a prepayment penalty, right? Because then they're not getting what they wanted.
Well, the cool thing is that with seller financing, you're usually dealing with people that are just homeowners. They're not savvy real estate investors that are private lenders that want to keep interest for X amount of years. Those are the people that usually even know that and want to put a prepayment penalty because they want to guarantee that they're getting interest for 2-3 years. With regular homeowners we're just solving a problem for them, they usually don't care, which is why there's no interest rate on this deal. He just wants $800 a month and his money in the next 10 years after I pay him, $9,600 a year. And he didn't question about an interest rate. He didn't ask about prepayment penalty. He's just happy that this is off his hands. He doesn't have to worry about it anymore. And he's getting a check every month and he got $30,000 up front. And there's a ton of deals like this all over the nation. I've never bought a property in New Orleans until now. This is the first time I see it after I bought it. And you can do stuff like this everywhere. So now, after this conversation, the question is, where's the next deal? And in what state? So that we can be closing and catching flights.